Hannah's
Yeah,
going to talk about the opportunities for volunteering in San Mateo County. And the rest of this meeting is going to be talking about that, because hopefully all of you have been energized to participate in San Bruno Mountain. And I wanted to give you some instruction how you can do that. So Hannah, you're on.
Thank you. Yes, as David mentioned, I just wanted to give a brief presentation about some of the opportunities for volunteer stewardship at San Bruno Mountain through events that the San Mateo County Parks Department hosts and organizes. There will be other talks with Ariel with San Bruno Mountain Watch. I'd also just like to point to the work that Chuck and Loretta with the South San Francisco Weed Warriors do for other stewardship opportunities as well as the South San Francisco and City of Brisbane groups that also coordinate their own events. But for my talk, I'm just going to be highlighting some of the opportunities that San Mateo County Parks hosts in terms of events. So we have a few dedicated planting sites that we have been working at for a few years now, where we've been, this particular one that you're looking at was mostly English ivy and Cape ivy cover that was removed and has been steadily replaced with some native plant species. And so this is one site which has been ongoing for native planting events and some volunteer weeding events. This is just another view of the same location. Another planting area where we've been doing a lot of ongoing work is this Coma Creek Headwaters restoration site, where again, a large area that had been covered with eucalyptus and other invasives, including blackberry, Cape ivy, English ivy, had been removed, and then these planting efforts have been to help transform this into a more native riparian vegetation community. And so this is just another location where we've had ongoing planting events and weeding events. I would like to also highlight, though, that we have plans to expand volunteer work into some other areas beyond those two key sites, to take you out into some of these other grassland habitat areas and get involved in new stewardship sites and help to bring volunteers out into these other areas to help us manage the invasive species. What you're looking at right here is actually the location that was burned in the October fire in 2019. So already, if you recall back to the picture I showed earlier where it was just newly charred ground, this is what we're looking at in recent months in terms of the ground cover out there. It's a little hard to tell, but actually a fair bit of it is radish, which is an invasive species. There's also some oxalis. Obviously a lot of work for just volunteers, but we would like to engage with volunteer groups to help steward this area into the future. We've also identified other areas where historic butterfly populations have been observed, and there's a lot of invasive species cover. This is an example near the Old Ranch Road Trail, where there's a lot of poison hemlock cover and other invasive species cover that we'd like to see as a dedicated volunteer stewardship site. And so there'll be some future events planned for this area where we'd be helping to convert this back to a more high quality grassland area. And so then with that, I just wanted to point you to some locations where you can find out more information about future events. As I'm sure most are aware, the current shelter-in-place order, all of our events have been either canceled or postponed. So just keep your eye out for future events when we're able to get back out in the parks and have group events. But these are really the key websites that you can look to for the events that San Mateo County Parks hosts. But we also do provide links on our websites to where you can connect with San Bruno Mountain Watch, how you can connect with the South San Francisco Weed Warriors, and we do link to some of those events as well. So that is a resource to see other volunteer opportunities at the park aside from ours. We do have a volunteer coordinator on staff too, Stuart Smith. So he's a great person to reach out to for any other volunteer opportunities that might not be something that you see on the calendar, but if you're interested in other volunteer opportunities. And this obviously also extends to our other parks as well. These are the locations that you can find events in all of our park properties, not just San Bruno Mountain, of course.
All right.